Hi, everybody. Dieter Kurtenbach, Wes Goldberg. We're here at Chase Center, and the Warriors finally won a game here. The Baby Dubs coming through against the Portland Trailblazers. They were 12.5-point underdogs, and they kind of whooped up on Portland. What the hell happened, Wes?
They rode the Erik Pascal wave. They really did. I mean, this is a guy who had a career-best game against the Spurs a couple nights ago, and then one-ups himself tonight against Portland, and I think this is sort of, you'll see this in the NBA every once in a while through the 82-game season. You'll see a team that's basically unknown. The other opponent has no scouting report on them, has no idea what to expect, and they certainly did not expect a rookie who was the 41st overall pick in the draft to come out and score 30, I think it was 34 points, 13 rebounds.
Yeah.
The box score messed it up. He was scoring so much.
He scored over 30.
It was over 30. He scored so much that they just started giving him extra points. They awarded him Damian Lee's last 2 free throws, but just an incredible night, and by the way, it was his birthday.
Yeah, he said he didn't know that it was his birthday, but clearly some part of his basketball consciousness tapped into that. He was outstanding, and this is not necessarily something that we expected. Of course, we expected so very much more from this Golden State Warriors team, not to the point where you're saying, oh, Erik Pascal's out, these guys stand no chance. But he was knocking down jumpers. He knocked down his first NBA three-pointer tonight. He knocked down 3 in a row to basically start the game, and the Blazers punched back. They had a little bit of fight to them. Damian Lillard goes for 39 points in the game. He's awesome. Warriors trapped him pretty much the entire contest, and he still got 39. But, man, they showed some resiliency. They showed some real fight. And what I took away from this game was how enjoyable it was to watch them. They're not very good. I think we just need to be upfront about that. They don't have the talent. They're playing Kai Bowman, Jordan Poole, Willie Cauley-Stein, Erik Pascal, and Glenn Robinson III as a starting lineup. They need 2 guys on 2-way contracts to put up serious minutes, serious contributions. They have 9 players in total right now, but they play the Warriors style to the best of their ability. They're like the Warriors G League team coming up and getting a cup of coffee across the board, and the crowd was into it. And I think that that's really something that we should hang our hat on at the beginning of this season. The crowd enjoyed what it saw, and frankly, I'm not sure that that was something that we should have seen coming, given, well, I don't know, everything that's happened over the last weeks, months, years. This is good stuff. And they're going to lose a lot of games going forward, but you got to like the fight. Fans love to see the fight, and at this juncture, this is about maximizing the entertainment opportunities, and this was an entertaining as hell game.
And they gave Warriors fans something that they've learned to expect in these entertainment situations over the last few years, a second-half run.
Yes.
This is something that Warriors fans have become accustomed to, and it's something, quite frankly, that the Warriors have not been able to do all season long. They've not had a head of the snake for a lot of the year. I mean,
True.
Steph Curry has been getting trapped when he was on the court and was struggling to even he tried to have those third quarter and fourth quarter snowball runs, but it never really worked. D'Angelo Russell, not quite. He's more of a peaks and valleys kind of guy. He's not somebody that necessarily will get hot, or he certainly hasn't for the Warriors. But then you have a guy like Pascal who is able to sort of lead that charge, and Kai Bowman who's able to play off of him, and these guys are now making threes and stuff. In that fourth quarter, they ended up having a 12-0 run to take a decisive lead that they did not give up for the rest of the game, and it just sort of put the nail in the coffin for Portland. And this is, again, something that the Warriors have made part of their brand. They finally got it back tonight.
I really like this Kai Bowman guy. Again, I'm not sure that we should read too much into one game, but he's got a little bit of spunk to him, and you just have to like that. He's going, as he mentioned in the press conference, I think 7 times, he's going to pick you up all 94.
Right.
He wants to be a Patrick Beverley type player, but he was really efficient tonight. 9 of 14 from the field. He made a three-pointer. He had 8 assists, 3 turnovers. I mean, those are really solid NBA numbers against a Portland Trailblazers team that is now immediately disqualified from talking about the playoffs. But coming into the game, they were a team that you look around and you go, the Blazers are okay. They're a pretty good team. They might be able to make the playoffs in the Western Conference, which is no small accomplishment. You don't lose to the Baby Dubs and get away with that going forward. But Kai Bowman is showing back-to-back games now, in my opinion, that he deserves a longer look than the 45 days he's going to get with the 2-way contract. Erik Pascal is showing more than we could have ever expected, context excluded. Like, who thought that Erik Pascal, this kind of role player for Villanova, had 34 points, 36 points, 42 points in him and get an MVP chance?
A Warriors player has never done this since Chris Webber, period. Not a Warriors rookie. A Warriors player has not done this since Chris Webber.
34 and 13
Yeah.
for Paschall tonight. Anyone else jump out at you at all in this game? There were a couple of really solid performances across the board. Did anyone else stand out?
Not really. It was kind of like, I think that the center rotation was interesting. You have 3 centers: Marquise Chris, Willie Cauley-Stein, Amari Spellman. You put them in whatever order you want. They all played basically 15 minutes. I think that we could probably see that going forward. To jump back onto the Kai Bowman thing here.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's really emerging as an NBA player, and I think that you can read into it. It's not that the math isn't that difficult for a point guard to make it. There are how many plus defenders at the point guard position are there in the NBA?
10.
It's maybe a handful. Yeah, 2 handfuls possibly. If you're Kai Bowman and you're picking up at 94 feet and you're putting all that energy on defense, that's where it comes from. If you could do that and hit some shots like he did tonight, you listed off his numbers. That's it. That's the formula for making it. I don't know if he needs to be. He might not be a starter. He might not be a superstar, an all-star player ever, but he'll have a rotation spot.
If Quinn Cook can be an NBA point guard, Kai Bowman can be an NBA point guard. I don't know if he'll ever make a serious amount of money in this league, but damned if I won't see this guy for years to come. I just think that's the case.
It's the Fred VanVleet formula. That's how he got a roster spot, and he's been able to develop from there. Not to compare Bowman to VanVleet, because VanVleet's a damn good player, but
just a little bit.
That'd
be pretty good.
It would be pretty good.
Damian Lillard goes for 39 points. The one guy I want to talk about on the Blazers is C.J. McCollum. We noted after the post game, which, by the way, very tight. Appreciate these baby dubs. They go out, play with energy on the court, get it out of the way in the press conference. 30 minutes, done, beautiful. We're no longer waiting 2 hours for post game treatment because guys have been playing 100 games plus for 5 straight years. Good on you, baby dubs. But C.J. McCollum, it was like he wasn't even playing in this game. This guy is supposed to be an all-star in the Western Conference. He hasn't gotten an all-star nod yet, but they always say it's coming. How am I supposed to take him seriously? How am I supposed to take the Blazers seriously if they went out and lost to a team? And I cannot stress this enough, a G League quality roster. Outside of Willie Cauley-Stein and Alec Burks, every single one of the Warriors players could realistically be playing in the G League right now. And the Blazers came in here as 12-point favorites and kind of got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
And McCollum was a no-show, even with 14 points. How do you reconcile this in your mind? Because it's not like they were on the other end of a back-to-back.
I think with Portland, they enter this game 3-3 with a whole bunch of problems. Number one, mostly, Jusuf Nurkic is out. And they've got a guy like Hassan Whiteside filling in those minutes who is the definition of empty calories stats. So doesn't set good screens, not a good rebounder, takes bad shots. He had a good game for Whiteside. I mean, 22 points on 14 shots.
They fed him in the post a lot to start the game.
We know that's an inefficient way to play basketball these days.
It was a setup for failure. Oh, and he also got into like a fight with Kai Bowman, which is a great look.
Bowman said, "I'm not a rook." I know I'm a rook, but I'm not going to back down from anybody. It's like maybe that's the guy to back down from because he's 7 feet tall, but he didn't.
He did body slam Boogie Cousins one time.
That's true, and so. I think if you're Portland, you've got a lot of issues. You get Nurkic back at some point. Maybe you can make a playoff run. He's a really good player. And that's a huge
really
upgrade.
good.
But,
yeah.
I mean, this is also a team that when the Warriors decided that they wanted to go small with Paschall at center at the end of the game, they looked around and they're like, I don't know, Mario Hezonja, you play center.
Not good.
Not a great deal.
Rodney Hood, I like Anthony Tolliver, but Anthony Tolliver might be past his expiration date. Rodney Hood was laughable. Kent Bazemore is washed. You're playing Skal Labissiere 15 minutes. Mario Hezonja 25 and at the 5 as well. They have big issues. But listen, this season's narrative has become very clear. The Warriors are tanking. Not consciously. They're going out. They're going to try. But when you have a roster with this little talent, you're tanking.
Yeah.
There's just no two ways about it. Players don't tank. Coaches don't tank. Organizations tank by not having good enough players. If they can just play with some spark, some joy, some energy, if they can keep this up, and I have questions, and I will talk about those in a different video, if they can keep this up. But if they can keep this up, dare I say it might be a great timeout at Golden State Warriors games this year.
Yeah. I mean, long term, what we're looking at here, if Erik Pascal's the real deal, if Kai Bowman's a rotation backup point guard, which has been kind of this
it's a possibility
style situation for the Warriors the last few years, that's pretty good.
All you got to do is find 2 dudes.
Yep.
One dude, really. I think Pascal's clearly proven. I think we expected him to be a solid, competent NBA player. But if you can find one dude out of this, it kind of makes the entire season worth it.
Right.
Obviously, this wasn't the plan when the season started, but just find one. I like Jordan Poole's confidence. I think he's got a chance to be a guy.
Yeah.
This Kai Bowman coming on strong is great. And Paschall, 34 points. What more can you say? I mean, he's a grown man. He's not afraid of anybody out there, and that says a lot. And, let's give Steve Kerr some credit. He's coaching all of these games with these baby dubs like they're like playoff games. Mm-hmm. Damned if I'm not kind of getting into it a little bit. They're going for it. Regular season basketball for the Golden State Warriors for the last 3 years has been boring. This is anything but boring, even if it's not very good sometimes.
It's a great point. This is a team that slept walk through the regular season for good reason. That
Absolutely.
made sense.
They didn't have to do anything.
They didn't have to do anything, and it was sort of, this monotonous trudge along until the playoffs, and now this team is a bunch of players who really super want to make it in the NBA, and so they have to go out and try their hardest every night.
There's a grand irony that Chase Center actually might be a more enjoyable time than some of those Oracle Arena games last year, just because, effort. It's a novelty. All right. We're going to stop talking about this, but we wanted to take this moment in time. It'll probably be fleeting, and really just milk it for all it's worth. Erik Pascal getting MVP chance. Who'd have thunk it? For Wes, I'm Dieter. We'll talk soon.